Ooh, this is such like a crazy red patina. Pangea Mini. Let's go through some vendor list first. It's going to be sold at Bull Keyboards for US, Delta Keyco, which is a pretty good EU vendor, Prototypist, Swag Keys for KR, TH will be Agleton, and then Keeps and Cables for Australia, CN will be Next, I've never heard of Next, Pantheon will be for Singapore, I believe, and then Latam will be Latam Keys, and then CA will be, so Canada will be Mino Keys. So pretty good list of vendors. Fulfillment will be 6 to 7 months. It ends January 7th. Pricing will start at $275, maxing out at $350. So pretty damn well priced. Is it open now? And then it'll come with a top case, bottom case, through weight, top frame, plate choice, solderable or hot swap PCB, unified daughter board with a JST to JST cable, carrying case, 16 gaskets, some molded feet, and then all the other parts you need. We'll take a look at all the assemblies and what costs what. Let's look at some of the specs here of the case, which is going to be a type and degree of 8.5, so a little bit steeper than maybe some people are normally used to, because I think 6.5 to 7.5 is usually like what people are normally used to. Front height is going to be 17.5 with the EKH going to be 22.7. The weight is going to be 700 grams to 1600 grams, and it's going to be gasket mount. With that being said, let's look at the keyboard. All right, what did Bull give us? Oh, this is a neat color. So wait, I need to go figure out which color is which now. So this is the acrylic top. Ooh, this is such like a crazy red patina. That is crazy. Pepperoni patina? Excuse me? That is crazy. I don't think I've ever seen a patina like this. Right from even just laying the board down. It has such a low front height. That is crazy. Let's take a look at the side profile here. This shouldn't differ too much from the Pangea full size, but you can even see that beautiful, beautiful side profile. The weight looks really good on this. Yeah, the way this catches light just really makes the whole thing look very premium, which is awesome. Recessed USB-C port, which is not something I truly have to point out as often these days, but very, very pretty. I'm a big fan of these acrylic top pieces. Even the taper here, the little bit of an angle that the case sits on makes it look just very well thought out. I don't know if you guys can catch that. Very pretty. Internals, we are gonna have the daughter board sit over here with the little bit of a JST cable lane, through weight. And then we have some angled screws. So it's gonna be a hidden screw design, but angled. This will help not only lower the front height a little bit, kind of keep the case from being too tall, but it's also a lot easier to install if you go with the hidden screw design route, which is fun too. Closer peek at some of this patina over here. The red's bold, man. I have to admit, like, that is a crazy bold color. I think this is gonna be one of those boards, if you end up getting the more fun colored weights, I think going with a more subdued keycap set is the move. I wonder what we'll put on this today. This is super pretty. By the way, guys, this is a sponsored stream. Bull sent this over and is sponsoring the stream for the day. So I'm not gonna stop me from being 100% honest, but I just wanted to clear the air there and make sure you guys know what's up. But typically, really like Bull's products. Bull is a good designer. Oh, you can even see a little bit of that top frame through the acrylic, which actually gives the side profile a little bit more pizzazz, huh? Look at that. That is super, super cool looking. We have a whole bunch of red things though, so we can do a whole bunch of red sets. Even there, that is pretty. That is super, super pretty. If you guys end up picking up one of these things, we'll go through the colors like I said afterwards. I think going with the acrylic top might be a really fun choice no matter what you go with. Simply because A, you'll be able to see the accent piece you put on top, because this does have an accent piece that kind of frames the inner side of the keyboard here. It gives the side profile a little bit something else to look at. When it comes down to design as well, typically I'm one of those people who don't like frames. Lately though, I've been appreciating it a lot more. So I think even in this case here, kind of how it has the acrylic then framed off with the inside, I can appreciate this, and I can see with the right keycap set, this is going to be a very, very cool keyboard. We can look at top, down, side, and bottom. So for the top cases, we have black anodized baby blue, pretty, lilac, the Midas coating, frosted acrylic, which my personal favorite right now, light pink acrylic, and smoky acrylic. And then we also can pick a top frame, which would be silver, burgundy, cream, a gloss silver PVD, the red patinaed brass, the black patinaed brass, or the sandblasted copper. I think if I were to pick something for this, I would want to go really stealthy. I might go smoky acrylic and then a black patinaed brass. And then let's see the side. I think I would also just pick a black anode for this too and make that my whole board. Because I think this would be, oh, and then I guess a bottom weight, which I forgot to show you guys as well. I don't think I'd go with one of the machined ones. I think I would still go with just a black finish for this too. Oh, you can get a frosted weight too, which is kind of fun. I think this should look really cool with all the different kind of tones and textures, so to speak. Stealth black hits so hard. Yeah, I've been really into like sleeper builds lately. I just love the whole like blacked out, super stealthy. And you guys can go through all the options here if you guys want to. And then all the pricing options as well, which I don't feel like going through because there's a ton. But obviously going with a hot swap unit, it's going to be about $5 more. And then depending on what you guys get, it can go up to $350. But just know it starts at $275. Hey, Bull sent us a different frame. So if I wanted to, we can go with something a little bit more neutral. Okay, so for a PCB, it is pretty standard fare. Now this one here, is there an option for a 6.25U spacebar? Or is this a PCB dedicated to just 7U because there's going to be there's no 6.25U. Okay, so we don't get 6.25U, which is a little surprising on the solder roll PCB. I know that there's WinKey options and HHKB options. Again, I think it'd be a nice inclusion, if I'm being honest, Bull. Oh gosh, lock 7U. No, we have to be fair because we've criticized this in the past. Plate only has 7U because of the mounting design, so force symmetrical. Okay, so it is a plate choice as well. Okay, I mean, I'll take that. It would have been, I mean, realistically, like speaking out loud and me just being extra critical of Bull. Obviously, it's always nice to see more options on boards like this. But if Bull's telling us right now that this is a deliberate choice made so the mounting style fits and case screw fits, then I'm fine with that. But again, just speaking out loud, this is a really nice plate. Look at this. Look at all these leaf springs. Look at this plate. So we have some leaf springs. And then we're going to be having gaskets. So there is stuff under the spacebar, but we're going to get to pick and choose where we put these gaskets. It's a little bit of a smaller point of contact. It's not like the whole tab is pressed up against the plate over here. There's a lot of relief that the spacebar won't feel as stiff. You can even see the relief cut on this end as well, so right in between. So typically you can get away, and I've spoken about this in the past, with putting stuff under the spacebar because it shouldn't feel as stiff and shouldn't remove the sound to be or make the sound so flat. This is the coolest stabilizer art I've ever seen. So these are Swag Key Night Stab V2s, which I think this is my first time trying the V2s. Look how tough this is, dude. All right, so I'm gonna explain how we're building this because I know this is gonna cause some concern. I'm going to build this with a full backspace because I want to hear how the backspace sounds on this particular board. Now, for all the people who are saying I should build this with a split, yes, you could build it with a split. And if it was a personal board I did off stream, then maybe I'd build it with a split backspace because I typically do like my 60% with splits. However, those are single 1U keycaps. I know how they're going to sound. I'd like to hear how the full backspace sounds on the unit many people will buy. Here's the internals. Some interesting notes as well. If you guys remember the board from the other day, the Optica had angled screws as well. Little lesson, if Bull doesn't mind me droning on about this and not building his board right now. The Optica had angled screws that were actually done wrong on the board to the point where the structural pressure was actually being pushed against the bottom and pushing the frame out. So Bull, such a nice guy, he actually gave a lot of insight to how to correct the Optica, and that's why the Optica, on top of them also looking into it, has been basically not redesigned per se, but yeah, redesigned for the bottom there so it doesn't happen. The way Bull does this is a little different. So it structures by angling. As you can see, there's some angles over here, and this is where you screw it in. This is done a little differently where the structural integrity isn't going to warp forward. It puts a lot of the pressure down opposed to forward, which is, I don't know. I thought that was interesting and I thought I'd share with you guys. Correct me if I'm wrong, Bull. I don't know if I'm speaking out of place here. Before we screw in this here, we see some other internal things like little force break silicone pieces over here, which Bull's been doing in a number of his keyboards, and I really like these. So, also kind of acts as an alignment system as well, which is really cool. And you can see they'll just align into these little bowls. No pun intended. So really cool. It's force break-ish. Not really, but force break-ish, as well as an alignment system. And it's non-intrusive. It won't ping or anything either because it has some silicone. It's not just like another piece of metal that slots into it. You know? Now, we're going to use all the gaskets for now, and if we feel the need to take some out and kind of play with these, we have the option to do so. So, some other fun knowledge I guess I can impart to you guys too. There is a bit of a difference in sound and feel when it comes to pour-on gaskets versus silicone gaskets. Maybe I sort of prefer pour-on a little bit, so using these foam gaskets. However, I will say there's a bit more of a convenience factor to using like a jacket or a sleeve for your gaskets. But I will say I kind of do prefer the way the pour-on sounds. Yeah, I typically find the silicone slightly more bassy, while I find the pour-on to be a bit more mid-elevated as well as higher pitched. In a good way, by the way. Like you get some good tonality out of it, right? Yeah, I'm going to use them all for now, and if we really want to, we're just going to take them out. But I'll leave them all for now. I'm going to do it as Bull has put it on the keyboard here. No gaskets under spacebar. Well, we have tabs under the spacebar, so for now, we're going to leave it. And then if we want, we can take them out. This is not just a typical, tab that's sitting on the plate. This is a bit more isolated in that sense. So this is going to have a relief cut, and then it's another sort of leaf spring kind of add-on over here. So we shouldn't have just this effect of it feeling really, really stiff. My only small thing, and I want you guys to be very well aware of this, I would probably personally put the gaskets on the plate. The reason I would probably put it on the plate, for an aesthetic standpoint, is because you might see some of the adhesive through the acrylic. That is the only thing. However, I'm going to put it on the acrylic here, just because I want the ability to change this out, and if I want to in the future use a different plate or something. There's also that you need to think about. But from an aesthetic standpoint, yeah, I do feel like it'd be better on the plate itself. Also, guys, with leaf springs, just be careful with leaf springs. If you see them like bending inwards or outwards, you can kind of just readjust them with your hands. But this looks so good with this set, guys. This does look super, super nice. This is so sweet looking. All right, shall we see what this sounds like? So we have Gateron Milky Pros. We have an aluminum plate, and we have all the gaskets in this. No foam, no nothing else. This is the acrylic top with a silver bottom and a brass weight in this. Damn. I would personally film the spacebar here and just maybe lube it a little bit heavier so I can bring it to the same tonality as the rest of the board. But like, that is an extremely clean sounding spacebar. It's not fatiguing. You don't have to worry about removing the gaskets here. I probably wouldn't bother. This is still like quite a soft spacebar. Really, I love these alphas. I think I was telling you guys the other day, I'm starting to appreciate where it still has that nice like top out. But this just has that overall kind of deeper sound signature. Yeah, to bring this in line with everything else, I would probably, again, just add a bit more lube to the spacebar or something. Or just swap it out for a different key. Because I do feel like, as good as this sound on its own, I personally, and again, you can change switches. I would want to change this switch. But this is good to see that it has the potential to get to this tonality. Because that sounds really good on its own. I actually really like these alphas. Like, these are very clean no matter where we're typing here. All the modifiers sound good, man. I mean, that's really cool. This sounds great. It looks really good fully built too. Now that you can kind of see some of the gaskets in place and all that. Look at that with the acrylic. Kind of a window into the keyboard. You can see that top accent frame as well. There's the gaskets sitting there. I don't think there's anything I would swap out on this. There is, again, with maybe the minor things we've mentioned about the PCB, which we can't even ask for a change there. But other than the Mil-Max sockets, being the PCB, being Bull's going to ask the designer to make the holes a little bit bigger there so we can actually put sockets in if we want to Mil-Max this. This is a good sounding board. The tonalities there of everything, it has the perfect, if you're looking for, I think, a 60% that's going to go a little bit more on the deep sounding side of things. Maybe it's just this combination, but I think this combo is hitting with that. Because I have seen these particular switches get a lot brighter in certain keyboards. But I think from a sound perspective, this is bringing all the good sounds you want out of the mids. And then I'd say a pretty healthy balance of both the top end and the low end of the sound spectrum there. Feels good too, by the way. Feels really, really comfortable. It's not overly soft. I would say it leans a little bit more to a firm typing experience. However, all the vibration, all the, nastiness, which some people like the vibration of a keyboard, but you're not, it's well isolated. You're not feeling any of that. Is it overly soft? Not really. Nothing really flexing or anything, which is, again, not really what gaskets are supposed to do, but some people consider that to be a byproduct of them. But this sounds great. I have nothing negative to say about this. Price point's fair, sounds really good, feels good. I like the front height of the board. Typing angle feels good too. It was a little bit, I've used 8.5 degree before. Feels fine. There's nothing here that I think is game breaking. It's up for group buy now. The curves are cool on this board too. It's interesting, right? Because it's not just like a flush curve, if you guys kind of want to see this even from different lighting perspectives. It does have a bit of an angle that it stops at here, but only from certain lighting. And it kind of gives this almost, I don't know, I like this about the Pangea as well. I don't know what to call this effect at all. It makes it look more round around the sides over here. Almost like it has like a I don't know, a separate like pipe or something there. I don't know what you would call this. It's kind of cool. Love you guys. See you guys very soon. Take care, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye, everybody. See ya. Damn.